Welcome to Alchemy of Self, episode 1. Let's talk about what's actually happening underneath the behavior. You can be completely self-aware and still emotionally self-destruct in the moments that matter most. And honestly, I think that's one of the most frustrating experiences that a person can have. Because there's this weird shame that happens once you've done the work. You've journaled, you've had the breakthroughs, you've read the books. You can explain your patterns. You understand your triggers intellectually. And then suddenly you're in an argument, or you're feeling rejected, or maybe misunderstood, or overwhelmed. And it's like all of that self-awareness just disappears. You snap, you shut down, you spiral, you over-explain, or you pull away, or people please, or self-sabotage. And then afterward, you're sitting there thinking, how am I still doing this? What's wrong with me? That question alone has created so much shame in so many people. Because they think, if I'm aware of the pattern, shouldn't I be able to stop it by now? Not necessarily. Because awareness and capacity are not the same thing. And this is the part that most people never explain. Self-awareness is mental, but your reactions, those are often happening through the nervous system long before logic even fully catches up. So you can consciously know, I don't want to react like this. I don't want to sabotage this relationship. I don't want to explode. I don't want to abandon myself again. But the thing is, if your body still associates that moment with danger, rejection, abandonment, criticism, loss of control, or just emotional unsafety, then your survival pattern will usually activate before your higher thinking does. That's why people can know exactly what their wounds are and still repeat the behavior. Because understanding a pattern is not the same as having the nervous system capacity to stay present while the trigger is actually happening. That's a completely different level of work. And honestly, this is why so many emotionally intelligent people feel so broken. Because they know too much to pretend that they don't see the patterns anymore. But they still don't fully know how to stop becoming it. That disconnect creates so much self-hatred, especially in people who genuinely care, people who are trying, people who don't want to react the way that they do. They want a different life. And this is where I think a lot of healing spaces accidentally make the wrong things worse, because they reduce everything to mindset. Just think differently. Just choose differently. Just stay positive. Just regulate. Meanwhile, someone's body is internally screaming, I do not feel safe right now. Like, I don't even feel safe to do this regulation practice. What are you talking about? And no amount of positive thinking overrides a nervous system that believes it's under threat. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that you're powerless. It does mean that we have to stop treating emotional reactions like they're just logical failures. A lot of your reactions make sense once you understand what your body learned survival looked like. If you grew up feeling like conflict wasn't safe, you may shut down now. If you learned that love could disappear quickly, you may cling, over-explain, or panic, or give too much. If you learn that your emotions are too much, you may suppress until you explode. If you learn that peace depended on keeping everyone else okay, you may people please automatically without even realizing it. And then afterwards, you judge yourself for the response without realizing that your nervous system was trying to protect you the entire time. Now, listen carefully because this part really matters. Understanding the pattern does not excuse harmful behavior. This isn't about avoiding accountability. This isn't, well, this is just how I am, because we don't want to identify those things with those things. That's not your identity at all. This is about finally working with the real root instead of endlessly shaming the symptoms. Because shame rarely creates transformation, it usually creates hiding. Awareness says, I see the patterns. But deeper transformation asks, what is this pattern trying to protect me from? That question changes everything. Because now you stop seeing yourself as broken and you start seeing yourself as someone whose body adapted to experiences that it didn't know how to process safely at that time. And this is where the work starts shifting from why am I like this to how do I build enough safety, awareness, and self trust to stay connected to myself while this trigger is happening. That's the real work. Not becoming emotionless, not becoming perfectly healed. I don't think such a thing exists. Not never getting triggered again, but becoming conscious enough to notice my body is reacting right now. My survival pattern is activating. I feel the urge to disappear. I feel the urge to defend myself. I feel the urge to fix everything, or I feel the urge to run. And learning how to stay with yourself long enough to actually choose differently. That's capacity. And capacity is built in moments, not overnight. At first, maybe you catch the pattern 3 days later. Then later, you catch it that night. Then an hour later. Then in the middle of it. And then eventually, before it fully takes over. That's the real change. Not perfection, pattern interruption. And honestly, I think people need to hear that more because some of you are using your self awareness as another weapon against yourself. You notice the pattern, then shame yourself for still having it. But awareness was never meant to become self punishment, it was meant to become a doorway into deeper understanding, deeper responsibilities, deeper self trust, deeper choice. Because the goal isn't to really just understand the pattern, it's to become someone who no longer gets taken over by it. That is the alchemy.